Hey, what's up? Told you there'd be a sequel to this list, didn't I? Yeah, so I want to talk about underrated movies again. I know I said I was going to review Far From Home with spoilers, but I wanted to watch that one first, and I wanted to do this, a top 10, around this time, because it is a special time for me, and I think it would be nice to do this. And I chose this top 10 because as a son, I am basically like a sequel to my own parents, and as a younger sibling, I am, in a sense, a sequel to my older sibling, my older brother. And in real life, sequels can be better than the first one. In a lot of movies, though, usually not. And people seem to really rag on sequels as inferior, except for Godfather Part 2, The Dark Knight, or Empire Strikes Back. And so a lot of movies, they kind of fall to the wayside and they don't really get the appreciation I think they deserve. That's unfortunate. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about top 10 underrated sequels. So let's begin. Number 10 is Batman Forever. I've talked about this one before. People seem to really rag on this one as an association with Batman and Robin. And so many times during the past few years, I've heard people say, "Oh, I don't give it a pass like some people do. Well, I don't give it a pass like a lot of people do." Well, if it's constantly people not giving it a pass, then that means it's not getting a pass from the majority of people, and people like me are the ones in the minority, not exactly giving it a pass, but examining it in its own way and not trying to just tarnish it with Batman and Robin, which is a bad movie. It's an awful movie, but I don't think Batman Forever is a bad movie. I kind of enjoyed it, especially at the time when I first watched it. Jim Carrey is kind of hilarious, and Val Kilmer does a good job as Bruce Wayne. He's not a very good, may not be a great Batman, but he's a good Bruce Wayne. And Chris O'Donnell actually makes, Dick Grayson look kind of interesting. He's not as good as the Dick Grayson we would get in the fourth season of the Batman and Robin cartoon, but I think Dick Grayson is not that good of a character in the first couple seasons of the Batman the Animated Series. And so, yeah, good movies, and Jim Carrey, like I said, is really good. Tommy Lee Jones is kind of he's not that good with comedy in this one. He does better as the straight man, not trying to be top and goofy, which it's not really his strength. But all in all, I think the movie is good. It looks really nice. Joel Schumacher has a good eye for design, but there are some problems in the movie, I will admit. But it's definitely not as bad as people like to pretend it is. So number 9 is Ghostbusters 2. Now, I will admit this movie does do a lot of recycling of plot points from the first Ghostbusters movie. And unfortunately that does happen a lot with sequels. But it's still funny. There's still a lot of good comedy. Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, and Ernie Hudson. They are really good characters. They work well off each other. And even Sigourney Weaver works well in this movie. And I like the characters. They are a little bit different, but they're not like extremely different than what they were in the first movie. And I did like some of the new characters they brought in, like Janos, the guy, he's pretty funny. And Louis Tully gets a bigger role in this movie, and Rick Moranis Rick Moranis is hilarious. He's funny, and I'm not just saying that because he's Dark Helmet in Spaceballs. The guy is genuinely funny, and so I do think there are some things you could have changed about the movie, but it's not for me. Maybe if I did like a segment where I give my opinion, what I would add to the movie, or to maybe make recommendations for a movie, but that's neither here nor there. Number 8 is Saw 2. Now, I will admit, starting with Saw 3, Saw 3 was very disappointing. Saw 4, that was bad. And I did not want to watch any of them after that. But when a lot of people talk about good Saw movies, they only point to 1, where I think 2 is better. I think Saw 2 is better, has a better twist ending in my opinion. There's a good amount of suspense. I think it has more and better suspense than in the first movie. And the protagonist, who's in the main plot of Jigsaw, you kind of want him to succeed, but you're also kind of hoping he failed because you find out what a crap human being he is. And so you're kind of torn on that. Donnie Wahlberg does a good job as Detective Matthews. And yeah, good. Also, the traps in this one, I think, at times are even better than in the first one. And they're more survivable, I think, than in the first one. But it gets overlooked too often, and it is my favorite of the Saw movies. I only saw 4 of them. I did not want to watch it after that, but yeah, I still think that second one is the best. Number 7 are the Scream sequels. I want to put all 3 of them on this list. I've talked about the Scream movies, especially when I reviewed all 4 of them after Wes Craven died, and so I made my opinion known that I think Saw 2 is a solid sequel, and it ups the story, and it does kill off at least one of the returning characters. But I will admit, 3 and 4 should have killed off at least one of the remaining 3 characters. It should have killed off Sidney, Dewey, or Gale. And honestly, I think in 4 they should have killed Sidney. But there's good suspense, there's good violence, there's good action, there's good suspense. I think I may have said that already, but I enjoyed it. I enjoy all 3 of the sequels, and I think they get kind of a bad rap. But like I said, that's basically what a lot of these sequels are. And yeah, I would probably watch all 4 of them in a marathon if I had the chance. Number 6 is AVP Requiem. Now, don't shoot. Alright? I'm not crazy. Well, I kind of am. But AVP Requiem, in my opinion, is better than Alien vs. Predator. And one of the big complaints I hear from people is, I can't see what's going on. If you said that and then watched the Godzilla movies in 2014 and this year in 2019, and you're still okay with saying that wasn't too dark, but Alien vs. Predator Requiem was, I don't know. You might be wrong on that one. But I honestly think if they re-released it on Blu-ray and just put a filter on the darkened scenes so it'll be easier for people to see, I honestly think people would see this movie the way I see it, and that it's a better movie than Alien vs. Predator. First of all, it's rated R, which is how Alien vs. Predator should have been. Not to mention there's good action, good violence. There are some messed up scenes in the movie. It does play a lot more like a Predator movie, and that's why I like it more, because, in my opinion, I think I've said this before, Alien vs. Predator is a lot like an Alien movie, even though it's neutered to hell and it is terrible. That's more of an Alien movie, whereas AVP Requiem is a lot more like a Predator movie, with one Predator going on the hunt, and this Predator is badass, and I like this Predator. Wolf, his nickname, what was his nickname that they give it? He's badass, he's cool, he has a seen it all, done all, killed it all kind of attitude when he's just taking out aliens left and right. That fight at the end with the Predator alien is badass. Yeah, I enjoyed it. And what's great is you have a few human characters that you come back to, but they're not always the focus, and they're not spending so much time trying to develop every little thing about these characters. You learn a little bit about them, and that's it. Now we're just going to see some carnage. And even when something happens to them, you're like, yeah! It's like, you're just enjoying the action. I know I am. So, oh man, I could probably, one of these deaths needs to go on a list. I'm thinking of maybe doing a top 10 other great movie deaths. But yeah, that's part 1. Part 2 will come right after that, because I'm going to do this list back to back, part 1 and part 2. So I want to ask this question first. What do you think of these 5 so far? Do you agree with any of these, or do you think I'm just nuts? So, stay tuned. Part 2 coming right up. Take care. Later. See you in a sec.